What?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. So this is something that went on for a long time, and actually, it's kind of like one of those movies that start off at the end. You know how they'll show you what goes on, the end result, and then it'll flip back, and then you'll start over and go, why the hell was I even there doing that? Kind of like, what's that new movie that just came out, Limitless?
Yep.
With the dude standing on the balcony? But where the dude's standing on the balcony and he's like, how did I get here? I must have missed a calculator or something like that, you know. But anyway, and then it reverts back to the beginning. Well, for whatever reason, I have no clue why, I drove, didn't fly, didn't do anything. I drove to Japan for a boxing match.
What the fuck?
And
Great.
I was the one in the boxing match. And I had this little beat up ass car that was barely like a moped with a cover on it. It seems like to me it had like 3 wheels on it or some shit. And my gear kept on slipping off like the handlebars of it or something. And anyway, I drove. I don't know how in the world I did it, but the map of the world was like completely different to where you could actually drive to Japan, but it took like 3 months or something like that to get there. And so I took off and I drove up through, I guess, this part of the United States, and then off to the side of these mountains, which people were calling the Andes, which couldn't be right because that's in like frickin' South America or some shit like that. I don't know. Wherever they are. And I had contact with people because I was calling them going, where do I go now? Because I need to have directions. And so I was getting directions and I was driving through like every part of the world. And I even went through like the, you know, Kuwaiti desert type of places because I remember pulling out my camera and my camera had that same problem with the battery pack being broke. And while I was driving down this road, it was like in the twilight of the morning, I took out my camera and I was like, I got to get a picture of these towers. These things are amazing. These freaking Arabian people, they really build a lot of towers. And I remember seeing all the skyline and the lights and everything going on. And I pointed my camera over and I took a couple of pictures of these buildings and just kept going. And then I went through this place where I was being, when I would not personally being shot at, but it was like, there was like a little war scrimmage going on. And there were people fighting each other and there was bullets flying past and a couple of them hit the car I was driving. And I was like, oh shit, what's going on here? And it was like some terrorists fighting each other or whatever. Then I got past all that and then finally I make it to like this depot or hub where there were all these people waiting to drive into Japan across this big bridge. And then I was talking with this man and this lady, and the lady told me, you'll do fine, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, why am I here? And she goes, you're here for the boxing match. I thought you knew that. And I was like, well, I don't understand, why am I fighting this guy or whatever? And something about the honor of something. I couldn't really catch it, but it was something about some honor or something like that. Well, anyway, I flashed forward to the day of the boxing, and it was almost like we were in this, it wasn't even a real boxing ring, but it was like this pavilion type of thing. And instead of ropes, it just had these concrete barriers about waist high that was about the size of a ring, I guess. And this dude stepped in, and I was in there, and the referee was in there, and they did all that little, I want a clean fight and all that, you guys do your best. And then we started fighting, and the guy hits me a couple of times, and whatever, and then when he hit me, I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, it just kind of like snapped off, and I raged out on the dude and just started beating the shit out of him and took him down in several punches. And he he went down to the ground and the ref started counting. Everybody's like, get up, that can't be it, no, get up, you have to fight. And I'm standing back going, did I get him? I must have got him. And the ref's like, I don't think he's getting up. And he got up and he counted all the way through and he goes, you're out. And the dude just sitting there like totally defeated. Well, they took him to the outside of the ring and just covered him up with these blankets to where, I don't know, to keep him hot or something. I don't know what it was. And I started walking around asking people, what was that all about? Why was I fighting this guy? And then we just started talking. It was like more of a muddle instead of an explanation or whatever. But in the dream, I understood what had happened. So I went over and tried to talk to the guy. And he his face kind of stuck out from underneath this tarp blanket or whatever it was that he was doing. And he just gave me this mean-ass scowl look. And I'm like, man, what the, you ain't got to be all like that. I'm over here to, give my condolences and just tell you good fight, whatever. And then from there, these people took me back to this pavilion that we all met up at, and then said, we're going over to the island. And when they described it, I'm like, yeah, I've been there before. I remember such and such. I can't remember the name right now. But I remember this person taking me there before, and I stayed there for several days. And like, oh, well, you'll be familiar with it. It's a beautiful area. And then we just started talking about how beautiful this island was. And all the resorts and beaches and, just nice places to walk. And then that's pretty much how I hung out. And then from there, it just kind of like reverted back to the beginning about how it happened. It was weird. I drove to Japan for a boxing match.
That's weird.
And fought in it.
Yeah, and fought in the boxing match. It was me that was going there to fight.
Yeah. It's weird.
So, that is my dream of the night.
Alex can tell you about his.
Yeah.
What happened with you?
I just had a bunch of sex dreams. It's alright.
Sex dreams, huh?
Yeah. I have a lot of those.
Jalen, I'm on a call. What? Well,
that would show your frustration, I suppose.
Yeah.
talking to myself in here. What's up? What's up, man? I don't even understand.
Reminds me of my clan
Yeah,
leader
it sucks.
from wars. Like, his mom would come in the room and he's like, Mom, get out! Close the door! This is just the most latest thing ever.
I thought I muted it. Sorry, guys.
That's cool.
Does anybody else want to contribute to it? Any crazy dreams or just dreams in general?
I don't remember mine, or I didn't have one, so.
That's my most vivid, is that old lady chasing me around in my dream until I was about 9 years old, and then I fought back in my dream, kind of like what the name of the movie was? Oh, Freddy, the one with Freddy Krueger in it.
Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah, there's one of them where the kids fall asleep, they become like badass in their dream.
Yeah. The Dream Master.
Dream Masters, that's the one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I became something like that and just kind of took her out. After that, it was over. I started fighting her back, and then I don't know, it's weird.
Well, I guess in a way, this dream that I just had is kind of like that because I have no fucking clue how to box.
Only when necessary.
Yeah, I guess so. In my dream, I become a ninja assassin boxer, Kung Fu Master Deluxe.
Was the guy you were fighting, was he Japanese?
No, he was a black dude.
You're racist.
I mean, well, no, it's not that. It's just like, I guess in my subconscious, it's like, well, boxers aren't Japanese. Boxers are black. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just, it could have been, I mean, it was really, he was a dark-skinned guy. I can't say he was black. Hell, he could have been Brazilian for all I know. But he was a dark-skinned guy, and he had, like, long hair, but it was in braids and pulled back. That I do remember.
True.
So it could have been.
Fight Lennox Lewis.
It could have been all kind of people.
Who's that one guy that just got knocked out by that Russian? Or got the decision? The Russian got the decision.
Oh yeah.
Klitschko, or whatever.
I don't know. I don't pay.
Don't watch
That's the strangest thing of it all. I haven't watched boxing in years. Oh, I don't know. But anyway.